Moyo Lawal didn't just appear out of nowhere. She worked her way into Nollywood and quickly became known for her boldness on screen. She was that actress with a strong personality, the one people noticed because she brought energy and confidence into every role. Back then, fans actually respected her hustle, and she was seen as one of the fresh faces that could shape the future of Nollywood. People genuinely believed she was going to be a big deal, not only because of her acting but because she had that spark and charisma that made her stand out. But as the years rolled by, that same spotlight she once earned through talent started shifting. Instead of being praised for movie roles, she started making headlines for the wrong reasons. Little by little, the reputation of being a promising actress turned into the label of controversy magnet. Now, when people hear Moyo Lawal's name, they don't immediately think about her acting. They think about scandals, social media exaggerations, and drama. Her rise in Nollywood was built on talent, but her current relevance is built on controversy, and that's a dangerous switch for any celebrity. In the entertainment world, every actor faces a choice. Do you focus on your craft and build a lasting career, or do you chase quick fame and temporary relevance? Unfortunately, Moyo Lawal seems to have chosen the second option. Early in her career, people admired her raw talent and the energy she brought to Nollywood. She had the potential to grow into one of the respected names in the industry, someone whose work would speak louder than her social media. But over time, that focus shifted. Instead of sharpening her skills, taking on challenging roles, and building a strong filmography, she leaned heavily into antics outside the screen. It became less about the movies and more about what she posted online, what scandal she was in, or what outrageous statement she made. That constant chase for clout started to overshadow everything else. And the danger with that is simple: clout fades.
What trends today is forgotten tomorrow.
By putting all her energy into grabbing attention instead of building a legacy, Moyo slowly traded respect for controversy. Now, when people talk about her, it's not about an award-winning performance or a memorable role. It's about another online stunt. And that shift is one of the biggest reasons why many believe her career has stalled. If there's one thing people have noticed about Moyo Lawal, it's that she thrives on attention. She's the type of celebrity who always has to be in the conversation, whether it's for good or bad reasons. Instead of letting her work speak for her, she often finds ways to stir things up on social media. From controversial posts to dramatic clapbacks at fans, she never misses an opportunity to keep her name trending. The problem with this approach is that it feels forced. Genuine attention usually comes naturally when people appreciate your craft, but when it's manufactured, it often looks desperate. Moyo has developed a reputation for exaggerating stories, making ordinary things sound extraordinary, and creating a buzz even when there's really nothing newsworthy happening. She understands that social media feeds off drama, and she uses that to her advantage, but at a cost. Fans are beginning to notice the pattern, and instead of being impressed, many now roll their eyes whenever her name pops up in another headline. What used to be seen as confidence now comes across as desperation. It's as though Moyo is more invested in being talked about than in being respected, and that endless search for attention has only dragged her image further down. One of the biggest turning points in Moyo Lawal's career came in February 2023, when her private intimate tape suddenly surfaced online. Normally, when something like this happens to a celebrity, the public rallies around them with sympathy, because it's usually seen as a violation of privacy. But in Moyo's case, the reaction was very different. Instead of receiving support, she was met with suspicion. A large number of fans and critics believed the leak wasn't accidental at all. They suspected she might have staged it herself as a way to spark controversy and keep her name in the headlines. Why did people think that? Because of the way she handled it. Most celebrities in that position go quiet, issue statements, or at least show some kind of emotional reaction. But Moyo did the complete opposite. She brushed it off, carried on as if nothing happened, and quickly went back to posting her usual content. To many, that looked less like a victim of scandal and more like someone who had planned it all along. Her unbothered attitude didn't calm the situation. It only fueled the suspicion that this was a deliberate move to gain attention. Whether she leaked it herself or not, the damage was already done. The scandal overshadowed her acting career, making her more associated with controversy than talent. Instead of Nollywood discussing her roles, the industry and fans were gossiping about her tape. In the eyes of many, This was the moment Moyo Lawal officially went from being a promising actress to being a walking controversy. After the leaked tape scandal, you'd think Moyo Lawal would quietly rebuild her image, maybe focus on her career and prove people wrong. But instead, she took a very different route. In late 2023, she went online to complain about how she was treated by the public. According to her, she was unfairly dragged and criticized over the scandal, while other public figures who went through tragedies received sympathy and overwhelming support. Now, at first glance, her point might have sounded like a call for fairness. But when you look closely, it came off as tone-deaf and self-centered. Comparing a leaked tape scandal to situations where people actually faced loss, pain, or tragedy made her seem insensitive. Fans felt she was trying to put herself in the same category as victims of genuine suffering, just to score pity points and revive her relevance. This attempt to play the victim backfired badly. Instead of gaining the sympathy she was clearly fishing for, people criticized her even more. They accused her of lacking self-awareness, refusing to take accountability, and once again trying to turn negativity into a publicity stunt. What could have been a chance for her to step back and reflect only ended up cementing the idea that Moyo Lawal cares more about staying in the spotlight than about handling situations with dignity. Just when it seemed like Moyo Lawal was laying low after the tape scandal, she found herself in another round of online drama, this time over something as simple as a cinema date. Earlier in 2025, Moyo took to Twitter with a post that immediately caught attention. She claimed that her man had rented out an entire cinema just for her, painting a picture of a grand, romantic gesture worthy of a Hollywood storyline. Fans initially reacted with amazement, congratulating her for having such a generous and wealthy partner. But the celebration didn't last long. People soon discovered that what she was bragging about wasn't a full cinema hall at all. It was just a private cinema room, something fairly affordable and easily accessible in Lagos and other cities. In other words, it wasn't the huge, over-the-top gesture she made it out to be. The internet wasted no time in calling her out, accusing her of exaggerating to make a simple act look like luxury. The backlash was intense. Many fans said it was a perfect example of Moyo's habit of blowing things out of proportion just to stay relevant. Instead of being admired for having a thoughtful partner, she ended up being mocked for being desperate to look special online. To critics, this incident wasn't just about the cinema. It was about a pattern. A pattern of taking ordinary experiences, dressing them up as extraordinary, and then serving them to the public in a way that screams, "Look at me." This episode only deepened the perception that Moyo Lawal thrives on attention, even if it means turning something small and ordinary into a grand event. And in today's internet culture, fans are quick to call out exaggeration. What could have been a sweet, harmless post about a nice date night ended up further damaging her credibility. Now, one of the most interesting things about Moyo Lawal's pattern of behavior is that it doesn't exist in isolation. She's not the only celebrity caught in this cycle of chasing clout at all costs. In fact, if you take a look at Bollywood, you'll see a similar trend playing out among some of the biggest stars in India's film industry. In recent years, Bollywood has witnessed an explosion of celebrities who are more focused on staying in the headlines than on their craft. From over-the-top PR stunts to exaggerated lifestyle posts, to sparking deliberate controversies that get them trending, many stars seem willing to do anything to keep their names alive in the public conversation. For instance, you'll see actors staging fake breakups or reconciliations, actresses creating buzz with wardrobe malfunctions at public events, or others sparking online feuds that conveniently line up with the release of their new movies. It's all part of a clout-chasing cycle where drama overshadows talent. The danger here is that while these stunts might give celebrities short-term attention, they often come at the cost of credibility. Fans are not as naive as they used to be. They're starting to see through the gimmicks. And once audiences decide you're more about noise than substance, it's almost impossible to win back their respect. Moyo Lawal fits right into this pattern. Like some Nollywood stars, she has shifted from being known for her craft to being known for the controversies around her. Whether it's hyping up a cinema date, posting controversial content, or playing the victim after backlash, she has leaned into the very same clout formula that many other celebrities use. At the end of the day, Moyo Lawal's journey is more than just the story of one Nollywood actress. It's a lesson about the dangers of clout chasing in the entertainment industry. She started off as a promising talent, someone who could have carved out a long and respected career based on her acting skills and bold personality. But somewhere along the line, the hunger for constant attention overtook the love for her craft. Instead of being celebrated for her roles, she became known for scandals, exaggerated posts, and controversies that drowned out everything else. The cinema flex, the leaked tape scandal, the constant clapbacks, the victim card. These stunts may have kept her name alive in the short term, but they've also damaged her long-term reputation. Fans don't see her as the confident rising star she once was. Now, many see her as someone willing to do almost anything just to stay relevant. And that's the real tragedy here. Fame built on controversy never lasts. Once people realize that the drama is staged or exaggerated, they tune out. Audiences today are craving authenticity more than ever. They want realness, not gimmicks. And unless Moyo Lawal makes a serious effort to shift her focus back to her craft, she'll continue to trend for all the wrong reasons. So if there's one takeaway from her story, it's this. Clout might bring the spotlight for a moment, but it can also be the very thing that ends a career. Moyo Lawal's case is a clear reminder that in Nollywood, and entertainment in general, talent and authenticity will always outlast noise and gimmicks.